What is Tantra? It's alchemy. It is not advanced getting off techniques.
Thank you.
It is not. I mean, it's lovely, and you will have better sex if you learn how to show up and do inner alchemy with your parts. You will, because you're going to be more attuned to your partner, yourself. The breath changes without having to go, well, do you like it, this way or that way? You'll just know.
How I'm seeing my spouse in the moment, how I'm experiencing that being is an idea in my mind, and I'm looking at an idea. It's a thought, a karma that's ripening based on past habits and constructs. It doesn't mean he's not out there, he's not real, or he might not be acting that way, but I'm looking at an idea in my mind, and this realization is key.
The secret sauce of this entire thing is attunement. I see you seeing me, I know you're seeing me, I feel seen and heard, and I don't have to explain anything.
I want to talk more about these later stages too, and the experience of it, and Tantra, and what Tantra is leading us towards, and particularly some of the practices you referred to earlier. But before we leave that, just for our listeners' sake, I really do see, and we see this in the data as well, that 4.5, and this is the integral community primarily that's listening to this, 4.5 or teal, right? Where strategist, when you say, oh, I'm at the integral stage of development, we're talking about 4.5. Okay. What's necessary to move into fifth person perspective and meta awareness are a couple of key developmental milestones. And I just want to underline this, and Scott, give you an opportunity to comment on them too. And this is very well researched that we've seen. One of which, and there's also a lot of correlations in my own Tibetan Buddhist training and experience, which is also a developmental journey. You start off with this realization, then you move to this, then you move to this. But one of the things is the capacity to understand what we'll call projection. And here I mean small p projection, meaning the capacity to see that me or you as an individual is projecting how I'm seeing others, how I'm seeing myself in the moment, and be able to catch our projections and our constructions in the moment or the moment after. So if this is something that's new to you listeners, and you want to be healthy where you are, and yes, maybe you want to move into turquoise and later stages, find teachers, and there are 2 of them here and many others in the community that can teach you about projection, about how we are literally manifesting and creating our thoughts, our meaning making, our experience of the world for ourselves in the moment. Because a marker, a developmental marker that moves us into fifth person perspective, although we may not use this language for it, is what we call individual projection. It's not just the social construction of reality that we understand at Green or postmodern, and how we are all at the mercy of our context, right? That we all, me as a white West Coast privileged woman from the suburbs, had a context that created and shaped who I am now. Even the context I shared earlier of getting reflected back in my young years, that I was a spiritual leader and a teacher. I was available to that context, that context was available to me, and that shaped who I am. That's an important realization. But different from that is to realize that how I'm seeing my spouse in the moment, how I'm experiencing that being, is an idea in my mind, and I'm looking at an idea. It's a thought, a karma that's ripening based on past habits and constructs. It doesn't mean he's not out there, he's not real, or he might not be acting that way, but I'm looking at an idea in my mind, and this realization is key. Okay. The second thing to work on, listeners, as you get a healthy teal and you want to make a good transition into meta awareness, fifth person perspective, is really what we'll call parts work or shadow work, to really what Scott and I have talked about earlier. And we can share good stories, I'm sure both of us, of shadow work that went well and shadow work we still needed to do as we grew through MetaWare. That could be another episode, maybe. But is to really work on the self-existent parts we think are still there or are hidden from us, to find good communities that can reflect back to us aspects of ourselves that we may not want to see, maybe even if it's hard sometimes. As Scott was describing those experiences, that really enabled him to grow. It's painful. It's brutal, right? It's absolutely brutal and beautiful at the same time. But get yourself in a community that can reflect to you, and so one can see the individual parts that are at play, is particularly the ones that are more hidden from us, which isn't always negative. Often our what we call our golden shadow, or Keith Witt refers to it as our constructive shadow. I really love Keith Witt's, which listeners will be familiar with Keith Witt in this community. His work on shadow, Chef's Kiss, is extraordinary. So really do that work and ensure that you're healthy where you are. You understand projection in an individual way, both cognitively and through realization, and you're developing awareness practice, because as we move into meta awareness, our object changes. The object of our awareness changes radically, where we realize in a deeply felt experience, unmistakable, that what we are experiencing and looking at is awareness itself, is this timeless, boundless, luminous, radiant awareness, which is what we are. And that is the mirror that we're experiencing as we move into meta awareness. Anything you want to share on that before we move into Tantra, my friend?
No, nothing's arising.
Okay. Well, I want to come back. So, Tantra is, it's my main work. I mean, just to be clear,
wait, no, there's something just arose. Let's do better.
Oh, good. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
So one of the most important things I weave into my work, and I'm deeply indebted to Daniel P. Brown and David Elliott for, is their profound and prolific work with research of attachment healing, attachment wounding. If there's anything that I consider one of the most important things to work with in the relative life that opens out greater capacity for perspective and embodying wakefulness, not just visiting it like a hotel or a holiday, is bringing those 5 forms of healthy attachment to the parts, to pick them up and hold them rather than expect somebody else to do that. And in particular, I do this daily and teach this to my students and encourage them, the willing, and less are willing than you would imagine. They're just in the mirror.
I know.
To do this in the mirror whilst eye gazing. No one looks at us more than we do in reflective surfaces. No other person that we could possibly point a finger at as the villain in the victim triangle for not giving us an attachment need, no one has given us less than we have. And there's a huge opportunity because we pass by reflective surfaces and mirrors all the time. And just to articulate them for those who maybe haven't heard it in a while or haven't worked with it deeply, the 5 forms of healthy attachment, and I'm calling them the 5 transmissions because they are transmissions and they are life altering with enough embodiment of them. Number 1, safety and protection. Number 2 is attunement, although I put number 2 in the number 1 spot. Because if you're not attuned to me, I don't feel safe with you. So if I know you're attuned with me, all the others flow effortlessly from attunement. That's my experience in the mirror and with thousands of other people. So attunement, safety and protection, soothing and comfort, expressed delight. Oh, wow, great job. You improved that grade. Oh my God, you shaved 2 minutes off of that marathon. Amazing. Number 5, support and encouragement for your best self. So when it comes to doing parts or shadow work, when that came into my world, that radically empowered all the work I was doing with difficult parts.
So tell me a little bit more. Walk us through a little bit more. So you look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror. So you start by looking in the mirror. You start by some form of relaxation, some form of deep relaxation. I teach what I call the 6 points of softening for years. Some people prefer a body scan. What are the 6 points? There are these 3 pairs of parts of the body that seem to correlate, and everything else relaxes when you do that. And when I say relax, I mean like setting down a heavy burden physically from all the cells. Like, when you come in from the airport with the heavy suitcase, you get up, in my case, up the stairs to the apartment door, and you can set it down. There's that, like that. Also, lengthening the exhales. The longer and the slower the exhales, the more the mind stream slows down, the more the heart rate slows down, the more our intuitive gifts and capacities are foregrounded. So I'm spending the lion's share of the first few moments or minutes, especially if I'm new or longer, just softening and relaxing and letting the thought forms pass rather than elaborating on them.
Mm-hmm.
So the 6 points are the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. And you're softening like you're opening imaginary fists with your mind only, softening the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands continuously. For some, that is plenty. To continue that practice in or out of state work or state practice, difficult moments, easy moments, do it everywhere. The second pair is the 4 corners of the eyes and the region inside and around the ears. You practice this one more, you're going to need less Botox and you're going to have less TMJ. You just will.
TMJ.
Yeah, that tightness in the jaw.
Oh.
You know,
Oh, I don't know
teeth
that at
dryness?
all. No.
Okay, well, good for you.
Okay.
So we've got soles of the feet, palms of the hands, corners of the eyes, region inside and around the ears. The final pair is the tongue, said to be the strongest muscle in the body, which goes all the way down into the throat and really apparently connects all the way down to your big toes in Chinese medicine. And then all the muscles of the pelvic floor groin region. Soles, palms, eyes, ears, tongue, pelvic floor, softer and softer and softer as the breath comes in with nourishment and goes out slowly. The slower the exhales, the mind stream slows down, then metacognition is more available. So I'm in the mirror. We're in the mirror. This also works on Zoom because if you leave your camera on in any Zoom meeting, you can be doing tremendous attachment healing work looking at your own image, taking it as object as well as receiving from it. So you're not just giving the 5 forms of healthy attachment, you're also receiving it from the being in the mirror. So we're actually doing incredible relational healing work here on our capacity to form and deepen relationships, on our capacity to receive love and not wonder if there's a trick up somebody's sleeve, or to receive appreciation and just receive it without having to elaborate thoughts about it. So we're in the mirror, eye gazing, pick one eye. Don't just be shifty back and forth because that doesn't feel like attunement. And then paying attention. Do you feel attuned? Do you feel you're being attuned with? Take the time, even if the entire session, however long you're doing, is just working with just attunement. Okay, great. You're building a foundation for a very strong building, an indestructible building, a Vajra building. So you're maintaining this awareness and this connection with the eyes, and then thoughts are going to come. You're going to think of that person who was an absolute fucktard at your office. Because there's space now for anything that's conflicting in the nervous system to arise. It's not a problem. Just don't elaborate on it. And then immediately, where is this in my body? Where am I feeling this? Oh, it's stay in the eyes. And then as though I'm picking up a kitten, a baby, or a puppy and holding it, not too tight, not too loose, as though the sun itself is radiating these 5 forms of healthy attachment. I'm radiating it through the eyes and to that part of the body with my awareness. Attunement, safety and protection, soothing and comfort, express delight, support and encouragement for the best self. But the main, and I don't know if Dan would agree, the secret sauce of this entire thing is attunement. I see you seeing me. I know you're seeing me. I feel seen and heard, and I don't have to explain anything. Now, this entire thing of the mirror work is my intuitive take on his 3 pillars of healing attachment wounds. Number 1 is ideal parent figure practice. Imagining ideal parent figures are right here with me in the room, giving me exactly what I need. They're so attuned, they don't need to be told anything or have anything explained. So now I'm taking that role in the mirror rather than imagining parent figures or my deity practice doing that, which are both valid. I'm doing it in the mirror. So I'm radiating it to that. Let's say it's the solar plexus. So much happens in the belly, right? We have these tensions in the belly. So we just find lots of them showing up on the belly or the chest. And we're just being with that region while being in the eyes, attuned. This is okay. It's okay for you to feel this. It's okay for this sensation to be as it is. This is simply energy doing things. That's it. This is just energy doing things. And I'm going to be with this energy doing things as it is. I'm not going to force it to change. I'm going to totally accept it. And in my attunement and my total acceptance as it is, as sensations, raw, bare sensations, alchemy is happening. and there's a transformation. And depending on how rooted that part was, it may take multiple sessions, and you are worth it. And not only that, I actually care more than I care about you, and I care about you profoundly. I care about all the people that you're connected with, who, because everything is one with everything, are benefiting from this alchemy. The field of humanity is benefiting from this. So that's Tantra. If you wanted, we were about to start weaving
Here we
in
go.
Tantra.
Here we
That
go.
is Tantra in action. There was no mantra practice there. That is Tantra. What is Tantra? It's alchemy. It is not advanced getting off techniques.
Thank you.
It is not. I mean, it's lovely, and you will have better sex if you learn how to show up and do inner alchemy with your parts. You will, because you're going to be more attuned to your partner, yourself. The breath changes without having to go, well, do you like it, this way or that way? You'll just know. Do you like this pressure or that pressure? Kind of like a massage. I was a massage therapist. I was one of the best of the best, apparently, according to Condé Nast magazines and these write-ups. All I did was listen with my hands and my body. That's it. I just listened to the body and then let the pressure match what the tissue was willing to do, as opposed to enacting my ego's idea about what that tissue should be doing. I didn't realize how much that was setting me up for energetically doing that with parts. So this is Tantra. Tantra is actually as a recognition of the interpenetration of form and formlessness, and of the creation's energies are just taking on different forms. So Tantra relies on that, at least belief, if not recognition, that everything is made of one energy, one source energy. And so there is no problem. It just appears that way. So when I meet it with the heartfulness, the courage, that this is simply energy doing something, and I'm going to meet it with attunement, safety and protection, loving kindness, bodhicitta. And I'm going to stay. That's the key, the staying, the calm staying, vipassana. I believe that's vipassana, maybe that's shamatha. The calm staying. Shamatha, the calm staying. So all these things are getting developed in this seemingly innocuous mirror practice. Oh, I'm just looking at myself. No, so many things are getting developed. Nervous system regulation, the ability to relax the body in the face of difficult thought forms or sensations, the ability to maintain and deepen loving kindness that's not personality-based or attachment-based, and the ability to heal and grow and nourish the capacity to let this love that I don't own be center of gravity in all of my interactions, including and especially the ones that are unpleasant. That's Tantra.
Soha, aho soha. Yes. Yes, and my dogs start barking.
Dog agrees.
Yeah, dog agrees.